If you are being controlled by your very own temptations that ultimately come from a lack of awareness, falling into the pattern of what? Pleasure that temptation provides. Now, with temptations and having that as your guiding force is not ever going to lead any man into success. Now, why would it? When your temptations are telling you to go the direct opposite of where you're wanting to go, why would you feel better in the act of following through with an unconscious behavior that is controlling who you are, your decisions, your persona, your behavior, your actions, and perhaps how you show up in the world? Now, in today's video, I am going to be honing in on sexual temptations that men are faced with day in and day out due to the animalistic nature that men, they have eyes for sex appeal. And it's not necessarily a wrong thing. It's innate within men, as well as, women have their very own innate guidance. However, the sexual energy that you are allowing to control your behavior, your decisions, and also who you discern in your life, if it has not shown you positivity, any sense of success through temptation, it's time to reconsider why you are allowing something to control you in the degree that you are not willing to control your very own life. When men are falling behind, they're most likely falling behind due to the very temptations that come up after the fact of what they really should be doing. What do I mean by this? When a man is, let's say, scrolling on porn sites, let's just say, there's a part of him that knows that what he's doing is not necessarily for the betterment of his life. He's falling into the mind-made temptations, allowing him to feel like he's actually doing the very thing in his life, the act of gaining a woman and having sex with her. It's actually allowing him to feel the sense of that reality. However, it is a lie. It is fake and it is not real. Now, when men are too attached to their sexual urges, they are not ever going to be able to control their direction. Now, when a man is constantly persuaded off of his path due to a sexual urge, that is a man that has zero self-respect for himself and also order in his life. When a man does not have order in the way that he has to live up to specific things in order for him to feel accomplished in the sense that he has something to provide and offer the world, instead of just taking and using. Your temptations not only usually other people in the sexual sense, but what it is doing is actually using you in a way that is not actually allowing you to live up to your fullest potential. Now, a lot of men experience the shortcomings after a sexual experience, whether it be through porn, OnlyFans, or actually a real life human being. Your sexual energy, when it is ignited within men and women, that is a calling out of your very own energetic, wanting you to address it in a way that it would be self-serving. What are you doing with your sexual energy that is not allowing you to master your life, master your mind, or perhaps attract to you relationships that will provide you with a sense of satisfaction? Men are not satisfied within relationships. I'm not going to say all men, of course, but the men who are following along in today's video, maybe nodding their head like, yep, that's me. I fall into temptations quite a bit, Maya, and it's kind of hard to get out. And why is it so hard for me to get out of these temptations that make me feel so good, but then fall to my very own self-belief that I am not deserving of actually experiencing myself in the fullest degree? How could you access your full potential when you are accessing the part of yourself constantly that needs to go out and seek things from other people? Now, a lot of people find themselves in this pattern of needing other people to bring them a sense of identity, sense of worth, sense of purpose. Now, this isn't necessarily wrong, but if it's coming from an unconscious behavior of you actually not being able to confront the areas of your life that you're scared to face, that is what is behind the temptation. Temptation will appear in a man's mind when he is not satisfied within who he is. The temptation of finding self-centered degree of fulfillment that is not actually coming from within, rather using another person to seek it within himself. And when you do find it with another person, it is usually always fleeing because it is not yours. It belongs to another person. Even the porn, perhaps, that you fall into, you don't feel great afterwards because you have not actually fulfilled the very area and maybe need of human connection. You haven't done that for yourself. You opt out to your very shortcoming, which is the shortcoming quite literally, perhaps, but also the shortcoming of you not being able to see human beings as human beings. And within that is a degree of disease of the mind that is growing and perpetuating within our men. Now, I'm not saying it's easy to face your sexual urges because I'm not a man, okay? I'm not going to say that I know what it's like. I don't. I do know that we live in a society today that is manipulating not only our women but our men to fall into the need of seeking things from another person. So we can be enslaved within the mentality of needing things from other people. Not only a sense of selfish behavior, which obviously, you guys, we are all selfish within nature. That is set up to our benefit. Now, to conclude today's conversation, I want men to be reminded that your sexual energy is not to be given away so freely, so easily. If you do not have control over temptations or urges in your life, you are always going to be controlled by an outer source. And that is why a man who has found himself watching today's video, please allow yourself to question the degree of self-respect that you have for yourself. Where in life do you use people, even if it's just on a screen? Where in your life has temptations controlled you? And why do you fall short, knowing that you have purpose? Self-mastery does not happen by always doing great in your life and knowing what to do. Self-mastery is stemmed from not knowing who you are, not knowing what to do, but still allowing yourself to move in a direction that feels better than the past. To confronting yourself in all the ways that are activated through the very act of semen retention, which I want to provide in today's video. If you don't have any control over your sexual energy, try semen retention, which is the very act of holding in a man's energy to further allow him to see clearly what he was giving his energy away to, the degree of strength his urges has over him. And ultimately, it is a great way for a man to respect himself and also to allow a man to be fully activated within his consciousness of having enough life force energy to give not only to other people, but to himself, perhaps for the very first time, questioning the things in his life that took him over, whether it be temptation, urges, women, sex, porn, whatever it is, gaining control over that. And there's no better way to start than you saying, I commit today. You don't have to commit today. You can allow these things to take control of your life for the next year, 5 years. It's not affecting me. It's affecting you. Remember that. And the more you feed your sexual urges, your sexual temptations, you are feeding the beast that you are afraid of, instead of starving the very thing that has perpetuated you into the fear you experience on the daily. You may think that you being so open and free to give your energy away to everything and anyone is self-righteous, but it is not, because you are not actually infusing that energetic with the direction and the purpose you acquire it to have. People give without knowing what they're giving to. People take without knowing what they are taking. And in this instance, you are taking a lot of other people's energy. And perhaps it's become identified into your very own self-concept, which is dangerous. You don't have to take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Take your own word for it. Try it out for a day. Become self-aware enough to see how far temptations have got you, if far at all. And imagine the life you could live and embody when you stop allowing your animalistic urges to take control over you and to put your body in fight or flight. which will ultimately lead you to your very own self-destruction based upon the protection that is protecting you from a new state of mind. I hope today's video helped you. I hope that you got something out of it. I care about you guys, and I do believe that a man who has self-respect will also have self-respect for the sexual energy that is within him and not giving it freely just to anyone. You have the power. The power is always within and never without. If you guys liked today's video, give it a like. Let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.